Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be moving on to map number 2 in just a moment, and map 1 between MELTY and LUMINOSITY was definitely a story of high highs and low lows. Incredible stuff on Dorado. MELTY almost proving their critics wrong at the first point, coming so close, ZP, and yet at the end so far.
Yeah, and for MELTY, if they do want to win the series, we need to see more of those high highs. But what better map to see high highs and low lows from a verticality standpoint than Gibraltar? Gibraltar, of course, a map that is well defined by teams taking advantage of verticality, whether it be in the hangar stage, even before the hangar stage. And sort of looking at MELTY historically, I feel like going in, when they win games because they have really good defense more so than anything else. And they showed flashes of that in the beginning of Dorado, and then they just fell apart at the end. So if they can keep that same high level of defense, especially before the hangar, in the hangar, where Gibraltar does allow teams to have that level of defensive power, I think MELTY has a shot. But if they fall apart, if they have any period where they're just not playing up to their potential, I think LG will probably run away with this.
A lot of this is about being able to have that backup plan, that plan B. MELTY had such a strong plan A that when they started to see cracks in it, they sort of went, oh, hang on a second, what do we do now? And that's when we saw LUMINOSITY drive through the streets phase of Dorado and really basically pummel them from that moment onwards. It was quite frightening to watch how quickly the game was running away from them. So they need to be prepared on Gibraltar. They need to stick to their game plan. But most importantly, they need to acknowledge we are playing against a really good team here. If this collapses or this doesn't work, these are the situations where we don't trickle in. This is where we set up next. It's okay. We need to keep calm. That's what we need to see from MELTY this time around.
Yeah, and from LT, of course, there have been periods where they have shown us some greatness. But overall, just to give a little bit of extra detail here, we do talk about, oh, this team's having high highs, low lows, and all the rest. MELTY, their highs have not been as high as some of the other teams in the EU. Like, to give them a counterpart, they're sort of a lower power version of Reunited. Reunited suffers from the same issues, but they're a little bit more consistent on the low end, more consistent on the high end. So for MELTY, if they want to break the sort of perception that people have of them, they need to start here and really come in with a strong game here in Gibraltar. And just interested to see what sort of defense they come out with, because there are varieties of defense you can come out in Gibraltar. You can come out here with a crossfire, hit scan heavy defense. You can come out with even running a Junkrat pre-hanger. So we'll see how that works. And we will be having them on the defense first here. So taking a look here at the defense coming out from the side of MELTY, it's going to be Tech 36 on that defensive diva, Moon L on the Reinhardt, Flippy on McCree, Bod on the Lucio, D-Gun on the Zenyatta, and Nico going to be on Reaper. So they're going to be more in your face for defense here. Not a whole lot of long-range options aside from the McCree.
And here we go. LG going to be moving out. Now we've got Zave on Zenyatta. No surprise there. Ruster once again going to be playing Reinhardt, looking for targets across the way. But of course, MELTY are going to be moving back. Mineral will be playing Lucio and Icefelt on McCree. We love him there, and we know he's good. Saini will be looking for antics from his wonderful Genji. And Manitin finally will be playing Roadhog. Always fun to watch.
Yep, Manitin, more teams mixing in the Hog. Definitely see a little bit more out of EU, but even though Zenyatta is his bane, you can still find ways of working it out. So what we see here, LG, they do move to the first point. Teams give that up very willingly, just because of the nature of respawns on this map. And they're moving in the server room. It's good movement here from LG. Zave a little bit low in the back. We'll see if he's able to recover it. But overall, positioning for LG is good. And MELTY, they're going to have to make a move sooner rather than later, or they're going to be giving up this point.
Exactly right. They need to make sure that they can collapse at the right time. They're in the server room looking for a moment to strike. We're looking for Manitin right now, and we're waiting for the period. Ruster's shield obviously isn't going to be lasting forever, and MELTY are doing a good job of constantly getting the damage up. The payload's actually between them and the opposing team. That makes it ever so slightly awkward to engage as well, but we start off here. Flippy with a flashbang, not going to be able to get any purchase off of that. The shield is down, and LG are now backed into the corner here. The shield is up on the side of MELTY now, and LG have to retreat into the server, and they need to wait for a better time to engage.
The problem there for MELTY's defense is that Nico was trying to go in on the flank with Tech 36. It did not work out. Now they're down a player because that flank failed. Manitin able to hook in Flippy, stops the Deadeye on tracks. It's still 65 here in favor of LG as they continue to pile on the pressure. The Earthshatter comes in at the very end. The 2 kills here for the defense of MELTY. So we'll see if they're able to follow that up off Moonel. But overall, LG keeping on the pressure, and they get 1 or 2 more picks here, Jorah. That's going to be all they need. Manitin does get Flippy. Going to push Tracer back, or Diva back here in a moment. And just like that, LG is going to get to this point. MELTY not able to get that first hold.
That was a really good position to hold, though, I have to say, from MELTY. They didn't quite execute it the way they would like it. They were really disciplined. They stayed together when it counted, and LG just a little bit too strong pushing in. I love the way they kept LG pinned back in the server room, but LG were also smart enough to sit back and know that they need to re-engage a bit later, too. They didn't panic.
The problem there, though, I mean, for Melty's defense, is that they put a lot on the flank, and they were a little bit tentative about going in, and the main part of their defense did not go in with them. So it led to Nico getting picked, and once he got picked off that failed flank, they just weren't able to hold it in. Meanwhile, LG, they don't care. They've been chaining deaths. They have kept the payload moving at a blazing fast speed. Melty did wait a little bit of time to reset here. They did not continue chaining too much towards the end, so they're going to have a good, legitimate chance of defending this moving forward.
All right, so setting up now, we have Winston jumping in very early on. Can we make that work from Tech? Don't forget he has switched off onto that Winston, and he's going to be buffeted now. Zaini coming in with the Dragon Blade, getting taken out very quickly, and that's what Tech was looking for. Winston so often on Genji duty, able to do his job there. Icefeld getting a good pick, though, to start things off on Moonal. This sets LG up with a triple ultimate. Is he going to be able to make that convert? So many ultimates now getting put down from both sides, but Melty losing two to start off. They have no tanks available at the moment, and LG are rolling in with the kills.
Well, despite Zaini's misplay there, that was absolutely the Manitin show. Manitin got one pick off to start things off, continued rolling forward, got two at the very end. So Manitin being the glue that's holding LG together, and I just want to reiterate here, this is an incredibly fast time on Gibraltar right now. Melty has not really been able to fully stop LG at any point in this game. They've gotten a few kills and they've slowed them down a bit, but there hasn't been that good decisive team wipe that you want to see of a defense as LG continues chaining deaths even as I speak now. So for Melty, if they want to hold on this map and not get knocked out when it comes to LG's defense, they really need to hold things together sooner rather than later.
The only time we really saw Melty regroup and get ready was when they were all, preparing to jump into the server room. And you want to be already set up there. You don't want to have to jump on in, but never mind. We're going to see if they can hold here. They have to. Otherwise, LG gets such a great time. Zaini coming in now with the Dragon Blade, spots the Discord Orb. He gets excellently earth-shattered, though, and Moonal completely not only takes him out. Melty are doing all the right things here, but they need to keep going. They can't leave the job half done. There are 4 kills. This is what Melty were looking for. Now they need to do it again because the time being set from LG here still isn't slow.
Well, finally, Melty was able to restabilize there after what was a very, very rough show. Nico here is going to take the high ground. He does have a bird's eye view of Zaini doing the same thing, going for the high ground. Zaini, of course, though, used Death Blossom last fight. Not going to have it anytime soon. He calls out Nico. Nico doesn't care. Jumps right in with the Death Blossom. Arguably a little bit over aggro, but does get Zarya down if nothing else. Now he needs to back off. They've gotten the 2 kills. They overdive here. It might not work in their favor, and they might chain a death. So take the 2 kills, back out, don't get greedy.
Completely agreed. And did you notice a difference in Melty as soon as they were in position? Like they were getting themselves ready being in position as opposed to getting themselves ready, let's collapse into the hangar room, for example. It was almost like watching 2 different teams play. One looked like panic, the other looked like coordination. And like you said, maybe a little bit over aggro, but great decision from them. They're a lot calmer now, and I'm a little bit more confident that they'll be able to do better in the next team fight.
Winston was able to leap in there, set up Moonel for 1 kill. Moonel, though, does get taken out, went a little bit too deep for Reinhardt, and Zaini and Icefeld right now turn it back in turn. Icefeld just peppering in with the McCree shots, was able to do a lot of damage. Deadeye comes out and again takes out Tech 36. It's not a clean fight here from LG by any stretch of imagination, but they are pushing the defense back. They will get push here onto the payload, and Nico has to be careful here because Icefeld is still up. He's still poking from the back line, and things go from bad to worse here if Icefeld is able to get one more pick off. But luckily for Melty, Moonel's rejoined the fight and his Earth Shatter up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there
it's
it
an
is.
Excellent Earth Shatter, and Moonel is going to be charging straight on in, getting 2 kills, picking Icefeld off to boot as well. That is huge. Nico, in the meantime, getting a kill, and Flippy going to grab 2 of his own. Melty, once again, able to hold at this point, and you are exactly right. These guys need to be careful. Look how they're pulling back. They're not getting over aggro. Reaper is the only character, and he's not there being hyper-aggressive. He's there looking for the cheeky flank.
Well, once more, Nico will be in the corner. He will be looking for the Death Blossom. He needs to hit pay dirt with it because his team is very outnumbered in terms of ultimates. Does go to the back line, takes out Icefeld immediately. Even though he dies, he does enough damage to set up Ruster for a quick pick as well. That's going to be a 5v4 in favor of Melty, and for LG, they need to back out. LG does have a lot of ultimates set up, but Nico with that Death Blossom does buy Melty another good 30 to 40 seconds there, so well worth on the Death Blossom.
And more importantly, for Melty's confidence here, ZP, they're now in a position where, okay, LG can actually go through them and win the map. It's no longer going to be a super fast blistering time. It's competitive now. It's going to be totally open. So let's see what happens in this next engagement. Graviton Surge coming out from Manitin to start things off, and a lot of heroes getting pulled in, and unfortunately, that's 2 kills now on the part of LG. Melty is not quite able to do what they did previously. The Death Blossom bottom, not picking up any kills, but definitely contributing a lot to those going down. And LG are sticking on top of the payload. There's only a few seconds now for Melty to react.
The reaction time there was not there for Melty. They had the support ultimates to negate that. They did not come out in time. As a result, LG will continue piling on the kills. Ruster gets a double kill. Here comes Icevelt looking for those skulls in the end. Everything going in favor of LG here in this last push. It didn't have to be that way, though. The defensive ults were just a little bit too slow for Melty, and as a result, they're paying the price. This will be LG almost certainly finishing out this map, but the one silver lining here for Melty, they did buy a whole lot of time on the last point. It was about something like 4 to 5 extra minutes bought there on last. And for them to have a chance of actually coming back here on the attack, that is exactly what needed to happen. So for LG, bit of a disappointment. They started out lightning fast, did not end lightning fast, but at least they finished out the map. We'll see what they have to show us here on their Gibraltar defense.
Melty definitely picking up a lot in the second half of the map. They can hold their heads up, being so much stronger. Those defenses on the last point on this dogleg absolutely saved their lives here, because the time set by Luminosity Gaming was going to be so fast. We needed a solution from Melty, and I mean, this play from Munol was just delightful to watch. Another fantastic Reinhardt play. We've seen quite a few of those today, and then Saini now coming in to initiate the last engagement that would finally put Melty to bed.
Alrighty, well, that was some replays coming in there. Good stuff from both teams over the course of it. LG more so in the beginning, Melty more so in the end.
Yep.
And for Melty now, their tournament life, depending on what they do on this attack, 728, it's beatable on Gibraltar, but it's not something you can really rest easily on either. Lots of traps here on Gibraltar. Sometimes teams get stuck on last, sometimes teams get stuck before hangar, and yes, teams often do get stuck inside the hangar itself. So for Melty, they're going to have to avoid those traps, keep things moving forward, and not really let LG trip them up.
And the hangar phase is just, I'm sure we'll come to it at the point where we move in as well, but it's just so much down to momentum as well. We saw what happened when LG were pushing through. If Melty are in a position, or if the defending the team's in a position where they're coming back, rushing into the hangar to defend, generally speaking, it's bad news bears for the defense, right? But if they're able to pull back effectively and, you know, set up on top of the shuttle and get themselves ready and decide who's going to be picking who off and just have that time to prep, it's amazing how long that's going to happen.
It's very reminiscent to Hollywood, where Hollywood, if you lose point A super decisively the offense is able to get to the rooftops before the defense, it's bad. Well, same deal in Gibraltar. If you're going to lose this first point, well, second point technically, you definitely don't want to lose it in a way that you can at least reset up for your defense. But taking a look here at the offense, we do have a little bit of a wrinkle coming in here. Widowmaker making her appearance, situational pick right now to be sure. And Nico just biding his time, hoping that someone peeks there. I think he has an idea that Zen is back there, so he's just patience.
He's tried a shot at Zen already. He's waiting. He's playing the cat and mouse game right now. Very quiet at the moment from both teams. Icevelt looking for a little bit of damage. Oh, and he gets a headshot off on Munol to start things off. That's going to be an excellent pickoff on the side of LG. D-Gun has gone down as well. And all of a sudden, Nico has a lot to do if he wants to keep the team intact from afar. So I suspect Melty are going to be using this opportunity to regroup.
You know, if I had to compare Melty to a team like C9, a team that does flanking really well, I feel like Melty, the problem with their flanks is that oftentimes they'll send people in the flank and not get an appropriate response from their main group there. Like, you had Winston on the flank there, but he didn't have the support from the rest of his team, and it just, it didn't really work out. So for Melty, I feel like the coordination is not exactly where it should be right there, and of course they did deal with that flank properly. They're moving in once more. They go right into the server room and go loop around to the high ground. They do pick out Manitin, so good rotation coming out from Melty. Much better coordination that time. 5v4 now in their favor. They do lose the Lucio, which is kind of bad, but it's still a decent look as this fight develops. And there comes the Deadeye from Flippy, takes out Mineral, and Melty now with the real shot of taking this as Flippy piles on, gets the double kill, and they should have this now, unless Sadie has heroics, which he just might have.
Sadie and Icevelt both coming in. They're combining to ruin the show for Melty right now. And once again, after the heroics that we saw from Melty that got them into this position, LG are fighting back there saying, excuse me, mate, you haven't actually got this yet. Let us show you why. And similar to Dorado, this feels like a heartbreak moment for Melty.
The problem there, too, is that they just weren't really watching their flank. Saini had already taken 2 shots off before they turned around to deal with him.
Well, yeah, they thought they had it.
Yeah, no, they thought they had it, exactly. And Saini was able to pull things back with the aid of Icevelt. So LG holds on once more. And again, looking at the time there, you need every bit of time you can get. So not a great look here from Melty. And that was their window to take this, because you look at LG, they will definitely have the ult advantage here. Transcendence comes out very early on. They do lose the Lucio. So they're down 1. Saini has Death Blossom at the ready. Offense is down a Reaper. Let's take a look if Sandy is able to turn this back in. Munel does drop the Earthshare, knocks down one. Flippy in the backline with the support. But Melty beating more players than not here, as LG looking like they're going to hold once more, and they don't even have to use the Death Blossom.
Exactly. I mean, they don't really have heroes assigned in that particular fight to deal with Flippy, and Flippy was doing a lot of good covering fire. The problem is LG were taking out the rest of the team faster than Flippy could deal damage out to them, so it's never going to work unless you're able to get those picks off in the front line as well, and Melty haven't been able to do that today. They have got 3 ultimates available though, and they are moving in for round 2. Here comes Tech on Zarya looking for those picks from afar.
Saini right now is in the perfect drop zone. He can drop right down. Here he goes with the Death Blossom, takes out Deegan immediately, makes it a double kill. Could not ask for a better drop. Already kneecapping Melty here, gets the triple kill in the end. And well played here by Saini. That's what you want to see from your Reaper. Makes it a quad. And that's going to be one more hold here from LG. And now for Melty, Jero, the danger here is not only are they losing a lot of overall time, but the odds of getting held here before the hangar are going up dramatically.
We might not be talking about the hangar stage if they can't even get there in the first place. The time to beat the map is 3 minutes 50. The time to actually get through to the hangar, 2 minutes 18 at the moment. So Melty have to dig deep. And not only that, they have to basically go through the rest of the map more or less without interruption now. So a lot of pressure, a lot riding on this. Don't forget they are 1-0 down to LG at the moment. They do not want to bow out at this stage. And they're going all the way to the back on the high ground, looking for that verticality advantage. D.Va getting sucked into the server room for LG, and they're on the payload. They're not waiting. LG, though, waiting for an opportunity to collapse, and here they go.
Well, first kit pickoff here does come to Saini, takes out Nico in the Reaper v Reaper battle, gives LG a leg up at a 65 in their favor. Transcendence is out here for the offense, but they're not able to get any kills with it, and that's a bad omen. Icefelt does take down Bod. Here comes the Death Blossom from Saini late in the fight, takes out Munel. Not sure if it was needed, but I don't think LG cares. That is going to be another full team wipe for them once more. And for Melty, again, they are on the verge of being knocked out of this tournament. Their tournament life will be on the line in the next push. If they're not able to take it, they will very likely be losing Gibraltar, which means they lose this. And even if they do take a job, they're not in a great situation time-wise.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's actually enough time to complete the map, even if they do take it on the end of the map. Like, LG would have to sort of part like the Red Sea for Melty to do this right here. So it's all or nothing right now for them. There is still hope, but hopes, frankly, are fading fast. We need to see an excellent engagement. Winston coming down on behalf of LG, and Nico and Flippy both going down early on in this engagement. Sound barrier engaged for the defense as well. LG are racking up the kills, and the Melty dream is coming to a very sudden halt here on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, for Melty, they're getting pushed back. And the reason why you're seeing Winston go this far deep is that he did have the orb on him, and he frankly knew he could get away with it. Worst case scenario, okay, he dies. There's still only 2 minutes remaining, and LG has to get through the hangar phase and more. And right now, sorry, Melty has to get through the hangar phase more. And right now for Melty, this is not super great for them on any level at all, because if they lose the next fight, they lose outright. If they win the next fight, they still need miracles to get to the end. So LG feeling pretty darn good about themselves right now. Next fight is going to be underway. They open with the D.Va ult. In the back, here comes the Deadeye from Icefelt looking for the skulls. Does get taken out by Flippy. In a high noon was more high for Melty. Melty with the last gasp. They have the numbers advantage. But Joro, this is going to be too little too late. Even if they get this cap, things are not looking good for Melty as Nico piles on.
Exactly right. I mean, Melty have to win this fight convincingly, and at the moment they are winning it. Deacon getting another kill there. Ruster doing a good job of constantly delaying on Winston, and even though Melty win this team fight, the GGs are coming out. There is not enough time to complete the map there. It's only a minute and 15, and we have to assume, of course, LG will provide enough resistance. So Luminosity will move on. And the new team on the block, I suppose, picking up Too Strong, doing a good job so far in the Overwatch Open. For Melty, unfortunately, flashes of brilliance, lots of promise, and we've seen some great moments from them, but they won't progress any further today.
Yeah, the problem with Melty, of course, is that they did have a good defensive showing on last. It would have been nice for them if they could have done that back before the hangar phase, or at the very least have put together a good offense. But let's take a look here at some of the highlights. Of course, this is Flippy here on the Deadeye. Moving forward, he got 2 kills off this, so it was a good opening here as part of
that was when they almost took it.
Yeah, they almost got it, but it just wasn't enough.
Very, very close, and once again, I feel like Melty does a good job sometimes of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, because in this match, we've seen twice now situations where it looked like Melty went, oh yeah, we've got the point now, it's fine, only for LG to come back at the very last second and snatch that away from them.
Alrighty, well, we are joined here at the desk once more by the man himself, Alex Machine Richardson is with us here once again, and that was that for that set.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions that we have to ask of Melty, right? Throughout that entire series, I think John has actually perfectly raised the issue already. That at various points, Melty had the advantage. They were holding it over the head of LG, and for some reason, they let it slip time and time again. I think I would like to spend the opening discussion here just kind of trying to identify some of the flaws within Melty's system. There was no necessarily out of meta picks from them. It was nothing to do with their composition. So do we start looking at individuals? Is there anyone in particular you would target?
I don't know if it is as much individuals. I mean, Nico is hit or miss. Sometimes he has really good plays, sometimes not. I mean, like anyone. I would say the biggest thing I noticed about Melty that really came up both on Dorado and Gibraltar is that I don't think their flanking game is really on point. There's a lot of times when they go for it, they get nothing and sort of sacrifice immediately. Like, you look at why LG was able to get through to the hangar so quickly there. It came in that they had a Diva Reaper flank going on, but the rest of the team didn't commit with them on it. So Melty, I think there are gaps in their communication there, however they're approaching that. There are some points where it goes well, where they did, of course, get a really good Roadhog pick on their attacking round, where they probably should have taken it if not for heroics from Saini, but I don't know. I just feel like team-wise, Melty does have some issues there.
And the Dorado is actually where we can kind of focus on that. You talk about the flanking game. A good example would be this Genji. I mean, we saw it. He saw him setting up, going on for the full route, and you talk about it time and time again, John. I'll let you explain to the guys at home this Winston-Genji combo on the first point of Dorado.
Exactly. You wait. Genji is behind, sort of moving all the way around to the church.
We saw the route.
Yep. Sometimes you get like Symmetra turrets, and they're like, yep, I'm going to avoid all of that. Be very patient. You wait for Winston to jump in before Genji starts initiating. Now, in a lot of the case, when Winston jumps in, the rest of the team comes into the marketplace as well, and you go brawl 5v6, but it's okay because Genji's in the back lines getting a few picks off. In that case, we saw Winston maybe overextending a little bit. Jumps in, yes, Genji starts. Hang on a second, where's the rest of the team? And all of a sudden, Winston goes down really early in that fight, and even if the rest of the team comes in, everyone has that second to pause and go, there's Genji, ponk. And that's exactly what happened there.
It was comical as well, because you sat there, you got all hyped up. I could hear it in your voice. You were like, "Here it comes, the Winston and Genji, and there goes Genji and Winston." Like, it was just such disappointment as it did just flop. And you're right, there was no follow up, and it was a risk and no reward. And I mean, just credit where it is due to Melty, though, so close to holding it on the first point of Dorado. It was within seconds. This is what you were talking about, right, John? LG just kind of breaking those boundaries so quickly.
So it's really two stories here. The first is breaking the hearts of Melty. Let's have a little bit of sympathy. They did so well.
That hold with Junkrat and everything.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. They're gone. Absolutely finished. Really unfortunate. But more importantly, we have to criticize a little bit as well. They did switch off ever so slightly when they're almost expecting, like, we've capped the point now, it's all fine. On Dorado and then on Watchpoint Gibraltar, both times we saw LG break their hearts, and the blame has to lie with Melty for that. They need to stay vigilant. They can't just get picked off one or two. Did LG get a little bit lucky? Maybe, but if you get one or two picks and you can steamroll the team fight, you have to be on guard against that kind of thing, and I think you said it as well, ZP. It was really unfortunate, but at the same time, it is the team's responsibility.
Yeah, it is. And one interesting thing, of course, with Melty and all the rest is that we did mention they have high highs and low lows, but one trend I've noticed in their games is that when they do get rattled, when they do take a big haymaker, they really struggle to recover. It was great on Gibraltar that they were able to recover, because usually they don't. Things are going bad for Melty. They can't bring it back in. I don't know if that's tilting, bad calling, just bad adjustments midway through, but it definitely contributes to the fact that they've been a team where they have had flashes of promise, but not able to pull it through. And tonight, unfortunately for fans of Melty, it's more of the same. LG will move on, and Melty left to lick their wounds once more.
Yeah, and of course, Melty could be playing the points game. Again, they get to the round of 8. That's an achievement for them, but it's going to be where it does end that we'll be seeing. The rest of the teams, though, LG have secured a spot into the semis, which we'll be bringing you tomorrow. From that game, though, we have something special for you. It's, again, the incredible play of the game. Let's have a quick look at it and see what it is. Any kind of assumptions, guys? What are you thinking? ZP, anything spring to mind? We're about to find out.
There were definitely some big heroics.
Some good McCree plays, actually.
There was.
Yeah.
Saini, maybe?
Saini, I was thinking Saini here, but no,
we get some
right now. And this was just follow-up on the Graviton, where they moved in, good pulse bomb, getting a double kill, and always good to see Tracer in the game, period, where teams don't run her as much as might like, but she has been sneaking her way in more and more.
Absolutely, she has, and Icefeld's been a bit of an advocate for her. That was the incredible play of the game, though, brought to you by ROG, Republic of gamers. European side of things is done. It's kind of crazy already. We've had some quick games. Gosh, we have zoomed through it. But that is the European stuff for the first day here of the third week for Overwatch Open done and dusted. Are you ashamed to see Melty fall? What is your favorite play of the game? Do let us know at #OWOpen. And then alongside that, the OverwatchOpen.com is the website. We're going to take a rather extended break now because we have finished so damn fast. North America doesn't kick off for, well, an hour and a half at the very minimum. So do be sure to keep us in a tab. I think we deserve that, guys. I think we should be kept in a tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? I'm a multi-tab guy.
It can be on the back for
Yeah,
a while,
keep us
no
around.
problem. You just
Keep us
play some
around.
music, get some dinner, relax a little bit.
It's a bit late for dinner if you're European, isn't it? I mean,
Supper.
Yeah.
Supper.
Dinner if you're in New York,
Second
maybe.
Second dinner. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're all gamers here. We know exactly what second dinner is.
why not?
Right, let's go ahead and take a extended break. When we do come back, guys, you get to see North America, and maybe, just maybe, we get to see the new NRG boys playing under their newfound flag. We'll be back in just a moment.